Hi, I'm Heather Delatorante, and I just want to talk a little bit about Not Me, Us. Remember that? Remember how many people were showing up? How Bernie was breaking all the records for fundraising? It wasn't Bernie. It was the fact that people believed in him. They believed in what he was standing for. But the problem came when he wasn't actually willing to fully stand up for it. He caved to the Democratic Party. He caved to the system. He caved to his good friend Joe, the pedophile, the rapist. I have a problem with that. I knew from the beginning of the Ibanez No. I knew from the beginning of the primaries that they were trying to put in Joe Biden. Before Joe Biden even announced his that he was running, they were already manufacturing consent by putting his name out there. Everybody on the news was asking and talking about, will Joe Biden run? They were already preparing people's minds for the idea. I got a call from one of the polling companies, and this was before Joe Biden announced he was running, and they kept asking me questions about Joe Biden. Would I vote for him? It was a resounding no. They didn't even mention Bernie. I don't like those polls, the questions that they ask. They're very slanted toward a particular viewpoint and a particular narrative that isn't the full truth or the truth at all. But I made it abundantly clear that I exist, and I would never, ever, in my wildest nightmare, vote for Joe Biden. Just like I would never, ever, ever vote for Trump. I don't trust rich assholes. I don't trust people that multiple women have made sexual assault accusations about. And it's clear as day that Joe Biden is a pedophile. Everybody freaking knows it. And isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that Joe Biden had political and financial ties to Ukraine, along with his son, the crackhead, who is also a pedophile? Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting how the system protects these predators? How it gives them positions of power. No, Ibanez. No, Ibanez. No, honey. Isn't it interesting? If he had had the guts, this would have worked. All he had to do was call out the fraud in the elections, because there was blatant fraud occurring. And it was obvious that the reason that there were so many people running and using his campaign ideas was to take away from his potential delegates. They were all decoys. to take out Bernie and stop him from making progress. And this is the illusion that we've been under for a very long time. This illusion that there is one person or a certain group of people that will be able to save us from ourselves. That's not going to happen. And I had that shattering moment during the primaries when I was seeing what was happening with the election, when I was seeing the blatant fraud occurring, and how I saw how they were going to do what they wanted to do no matter what. I mean, look at the debates, like the debates where they had Tulsi and everybody else. And Tulsi just, she demolished Kamala Harris. Like, it was epic. Because Kamala Harris had that big thing where she was just like, well, I was one of those girls on the buses, blah, 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 blah. That was like her big moment. That was so, it was so contrived, so rehearsed. They knew what they were going to do from the beginning. And it was all just an act. And Tulsi, I think she was defending Biden as if he's someone that deserves defense ever. Just let him fucking drown. But Kamala needed to be taken down a peg. But Tulsi ended up endorsing Biden before Bernie was out of the running. And so it's like, what's up with that? And it's like they all fucking caved. They all gave up. They all caved to the system. And that's when all of my illusions about an equitable election process, the idea of getting good people through the system to change the system from within, to make it fair and restore the integrity of the office, restore the integrity of our Constitution and of our country in the eyes of the world. All of that, all of these patriotic ideas were shattered. And I was also tied up in my ideas of what was required to help the people of the world, the people of our country, all these homeless people, and of restoring balance between nature and in humans, having that restoration. It all kind of fell apart, like it all shattered to a million pieces when I saw that he was just giving up. He was giving up on all of us. And that's exactly what happened. He gave up. He cowered. For the sake of civility. For the sake of his good friend Joe, the pedophile, the rapist, the racist. And then Tulsi endorsed him when she didn't have to endorse him. Yes, I know that there was this thing where they had to sign some disclosure or whatever that they would support the eventual nominee. But there is no thing requiring her to make a video stating that she endorses him before Bernie was out of the running. And the way that Bernie cowered, it's like they all caved. And I don't know if they were coerced or if this was part of the plan the whole time to just sheepdog the nation. But I watched it all unfold, and I couldn't understand how everyone couldn't see it. How people still, like, how people were falling for Elizabeth Warren's bullshit and Yang's bullshit. And all of them. But all of you, all of us, we still exist. We still exist, and we still stand in our own integrity. We never needed them. We never needed him. We only needed each other. It was always about us. Not me, us. It was always about us, all of us. We are one. And yet we are individuals. And we can celebrate our individuation, as well as the things that bring us together. It is our differences that make the world exciting and worth living in, worth exploring and experiencing. It is our ingenuity, our creativity, that births new ideas and new ways of being, of finding balance. All we have to do is align our intentions for the highest good of all. It was never about a person. It was never about a party. It was never going to be. It was always us. We have the power. We are the power. So, may all your pent-up potential awesomeness be made kinetic.